Right. All right. So I'm gonna spend a few seconds setting up the next match. We got Marimo versus Steph. This is a what is this? Is a copper match. One of two copper matches that have been played so far.
Yes. Yeah. Technically, I think one was a forfeit, so two that have actually been played, three that are at least in the books. That's out of 9 total that were scheduled so far.
Right. I think I am good to go. All right. Let's get into picks and bans here.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. First up, I believe Marimo bans. Not a shocking at all. Balcony.
Yep.
Especially against Steph. Steph has quite a lot of practice on balcony.
Yeah, 3 mission wins in season 3, 2 of them on balcony.
Okay, and the ban from Steph is library.
Fair enough.
I mean, library is kind of the anti-balcony, so maybe that makes sense.
Yep.
All right.
Balconies and libraries, natural enemies.
Yep. This is true. All right, well, the first pick out of Marimo, not a shock at all, courtyard.
Good.
And then the second pick, the first pick from Steph is veranda. Interesting.
Huh.
So you ban library.
Yeah,
banned
library, pick veranda. That's an odd one.
Yeah, I mean they are. They're similar, but they're also different.
They feel very different.
Yeah.
They feel very different. They're both large maps, but they play very differently.
It is true though that you don't normally see those two right next to each other under picked and banned though. Very unusual.
That's true. All right, and then once again we're going to go back to gallery. Second pick out of Marimo. Just a map that seems to be growing on people.
Yeah.
And then the final pick from Steph. This one makes a little more sense. High rise.
Yeah, if you can't have balcony, I'll take high rise. It's usually the backup plan.
Almost surprised Steph didn't double high rise.
Yeah,
balcony got banned.
Right. That's the surprising thing. So picking veranda, sometimes with 2 maps banned and your opponent already picking 2, maybe picking 2 maps you already like, sometimes you get to that final pick and you're like, I don't really feel strongly about any of these choices. I'm fine with any of them. And you end up picking something like veranda that maybe you don't even like that much. So I'm not surprised by the picks. I'm surprised by the order they came in. High-rise veranda makes way more sense to me than veranda high-rise.
Agreed.
All right.
Either way, starting things off on the courtyard. Marimo on the spy. Steph on the sniper. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. And Steph and Marimo have a heck of a lot of they know each other very well. They've got history.
They do. Very competitive history too.
Marimo starting things off with 45% on the flirt and then stepping into conversation with the double agent looking for the contact.
And Boots already highlighted for a possible early bug, I believe.
Wow, that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out moving forward. No contact yet, waiting for a few more people to get in, but it looks like a good time for it, all things considered.
Yeah, not bad. I only see, well, right now there's a few more. It went from 2 to 5 just like that with the possible lowlights.
Ooh, some weird bouncing on the way into the pad there. Hello, Ambassador. Are you about to get bugged? You might be about to get bugged. Nope. No bug has occurred just now.
Everyone pretty much bunched together here right now.
This has been a very slow game from Marimo. We've seen a lot of slow spy games so far this evening.
This is standard for Marimo. This is how Marimo normally plays. Although interesting, a lot of slow play. 0 timeouts as spy in season 3 though. So it's either it works and you frame someone, or there's a rush of activity late and you get caught.
62% is a problem though, because it's not in 3 flirt range. White test, Purloin sees the list gone. Does he know where it came from? Does Steph know?
Highlight.
Definitely gets the highlight on Marimo. So that's very telling. Marimo is in a precarious position now.
Yeah, I think at this point you have to assume Steph is on it and is waiting for some kind of confirmation.
We do have that hard tell done, though, at this point, so this is doable. 79% after this next timer flirt. These have not been high-quality flirts. We're so low on time. We haven't done statues yet. What's the play here?
The play was to get away with the purloin and get someone else shot. That is usually Marimo's play. If you hit a white purloin on courtyard, though, it doesn't work.
Yeah. This is... oh, God.
And the end of red.
All right, there's the contact. One low light. Steph doesn't... No, I guess he does. She does think Marimo could be done.
Yep.
And takes that shot for a strong start.
Right in the heart, too, that shot, I notice. Yeah, so Marimo, despite having no timeouts, does play slow pretty much every time, and it usually works. Got a civilian shot in almost half of his spy games last season. 47.8% contra just a normal 33 for the rest of the division. So this is how he plays, kind of like a little Slappy. Kind of plays the way Slappy likes to a lot here, albeit in a different division. Does it pretty well too, and I think if you hit a green on that purloin, maybe it works out. But in this case, it all hinges on that.
Well, let's see how Steph decides to play the spy side here on courtyard with Marimo on the sniper. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, just a solid game from Steph. If there's one thing, one outcome on between game mode, map, whatever, that requires basically no analysis, it's white purloin on courtyard.
Yeah. Steph takes a long AI control and winds up in a conversation she does not care to be in.
And already, you might have your answer about how quickly she's going to move. Let's see if she starts to force the action.
Well, steps into conversation with both the seduction target and the double agent, gets that early 34% on the flirt, and starts the contact. So, certainly coming out the gate with some speed after the no control.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense. I think this is the kind of limited aggression that gives you options later in the game.
And setting up for another flirt after the fact. This one's a green, up to 85 now. This is a good start from Steph, I'd say. No highlights yet. Hasn't gone to statues, though. Plenty of time.
You say? Interesting.
It's a common number. One white, one green. I think it might be the most common flirt percentage outside of 100.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. And she wants to time her flirt and then decide what to do with a minute left. Or not.
Just okay. Well, it's going to be a white purloin. Sees the list gone. Do we know what the fade was? We know enough. Marimo takes the shot. 2 white purloins to start things off on courtyard. It's not what you want to see.
To be fair, those are 2 totally different sniper styles. Steph shot in the heart and Marimo shot in the ankle. So, wildly different games, really.
Yes. All right. Let's get into the next one. We've split the first couple of games. Marimo is going to have another go at the spy side of courtyard. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Listen, when there's white purloins, I have to make up things to say. There's no analysis. White purloin on courtyard. End of story.
Yeah, please don't do that. All right. Marimo, with a relatively slow start, double agent does join him in conversation, but I think he's unlikely to take the contact here, despite how packed that conversation is. Seduction target gets highlight for briefcase. So that could be helpful moving forward. Thank you, Marimo, for not purloining.
Yet.
Yet?
The allure of the purloin on courtyard.
White time ad as well. Doesn't look like Steph sees it.
Rocker and Walt both at windows, and Walt left at the exact same moment.
Yeah. Either way, it looks like Steph has not seen it fast enough to make a decision for. 2 minutes and 20 left on the clock. Not any progress at all as of yet. Suction target, please, come on. Don't be like that.
Yeah, literally no mission progress whatsoever. Although, if you're Marimo and you're not necessarily going to finish anyway, maybe it doesn't matter.
Maybe. This is real slow. 34% on the first flirt. We've had a time ad, and the first any progress at all came with 2 minutes left, and we got highlight for it. No, this isn't working.
Yeah, generally speaking, if you have a highlight with less than 2 minutes left and all you've got is 34% in the flirt, it's not going the way you planned.
All right. Hi, Toby. Okay, it's a white. It's... Yeah. Yeah. We got the shoulder this time, so we're changing it up.
Yeah, no, a lot of variety. A lot of variety.
Please stop. Please stop purloining on this map. Please stop.
They can't help
stop. All right. I'm going to start nicknaming both of you Checker. I'm just going to call you both Checker for the rest of this cast if there's another purloin.
Hey, to be fair, Marimo did not purloin on the first drink take.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
I like
this
that.
Is true. All right, Steph. Please don't purloin. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
The only one of those games that really felt even remotely dramatic was Steph's spy game there. There were a lot of highlights in that game. I think there was a decent chance he was going to get a civilian shot, if not for the purloin.
Indeed. Starting things off with 32%, which is still in 3 flirt range.
It's something. We'll take it.
It's fine. I'm perfectly Oh, hello, Ambassador. You're right on camera. This is a terrible idea. Steph agrees.
Good restraint.
One of the most important things you can learn how to do in this game is not right-click.
That's a good point.
Second flirt coming off, another white, up to 66%. I was a little bit concerned about a slight distance between Steph and the seduction target, but it worked out. We're still in 3 flirt range.
It's funny, usually the key to becoming both a better spy and a better sniper is just doing a little less. It's the shot you don't take. It's the bug you don't go for just because it shows up in front of you. In both cases, usually the thing that helps someone move from intermediate to expert is patience.
Well, Marimo certainly has patience down pat, but he also has, purloins. All right, yeah. Steph going for the briefcase for a quick fingerprint. Give yourself options later on, but not a single completion yet with 1 minute and 20 left to play. Now stepping in to the seduction target for this final flirt. So there's our first completion.
And a normal drink reject. Hallelujah, Tobo.
Indeed. All right. So, minute left to play. We haven't done statues yet. We haven't done contact yet. This looks like it might be the contact here. No. It's going to be statues instead.
It seems
is
like
there a fingerprint here? Please be a fingerprint. It is not a fingerprint.
No.
That is disappointing.
It is. And you're at statues late, and you're already suspicious based on that alone.
You know what, Track? I'm worried this might have to be a purloin.
It's the only thing that'll work. Oh, I don't like that conversation entry either. There was a wide turn into statues and now a little bit of a janky entry into that conversation. If Marimo's noticing these, it's going to make
That's often the kind of thing that doesn't get noticed. There's the contact coming off, and it's suspicious enough for a shot. I do not have to call everybody checker for the rest of the set.
You don't. We have a non-purloin sniper victory. I repeat, non-purloin sniper victory.
It is still SpyParty so far. It's 2-2 sniper wins across the board on Courtyard. Although that does tend to happen on Courtyard. Let's see how things change. Moving into a much different map. This time, it's Veranda with Marimo on the Spy and Steph on the Sniper. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, very good shot coming out from Marimo. Possibly crediting that bug. You remember there was a bug opportunity earlier, and from the sniper's perspective, maybe you have to credit it. So you see that talk there at the end, and banana bread, maybe you got to do it, or just really good on the pathing. Don't know. Both make sense.
Yeah, it was a good shot to take. Marimo starting things off here at the front statues for a pair of inspects to start the game off. Does not take a highlight for it. That could be huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Second statue visit, obviously very perilous sometimes on Veranda if you're not highlighted for the first one, and if she doesn't remember that you were there before, that's a big deal.
Selection target getting bounced around so much, we have to move before he decides where he's going. Winds up going to statues, so Marimo's not too happy to see that. Might do some book cheese here. No, actually goes in for never mind.
Just trying to act a little AI-like, I guess.
I mean, we would have stopped there for a few moments if we were trying to act AI-like.
Well, if you were doing it properly, it's hard to say. Well, I'd say sometimes it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy, but that's the only explanation I can come up with. Stop me if you've heard this one, Tobo. Marimo is idling a little bit.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I feel like there's a bit of a pattern here.
50% off the first flirt, no completions yet, 2 minutes and 30 to play. We're behind the curve, but not disastrously so. Although, Marimo is going to need to hustle to finish missions at this point, and Marimo does not hustle. He does, apparently, get highlight with a fake contact. So that basically confirms that Marimo is not planning on finishing missions.
Yeah, pretty much. You certainly hope so. Either that or a bunch of time ads. Time ads, I mentioned earlier, Library, probably the easiest map to get away with time ads on. I would say Veranda might be second, though.
I bet you if Marimo actually started doing missions, he would start getting a huge amount of wins because no one would shoot anybody.
No. If they know their opponent at all, it would definitely take a little while to adjust.
I think this time ad was supposed to be a flirt. Either way, it was a green test, so might be very useful for Marimo going forwards.
They both make sense in this context and given the player.
A distant white test leads to 76% on the flirt at this point. Still in 3 flirt range.
Yeah, but I still think you're going to need another time ad here.
If we're planning on finishing missions at all, Marimo is kind of like that. Still not a single completion. With only 1 minute and 15 on the sniper clock, 1 minute and 45 on the spies.
Maybe we're just resigned to the white purloin, and it's really just the whole game is just building up to the moment you white purloin. You want to pick that white purloin for the exact right time.
I mean, we finished our flirt, so that's something. Oh God. I feel like if you're in Marimo's shoes, you've got to at least give yourself options if the idling doesn't seem like it's going to work out. But Marimo's got nothing here. Like, he's got 2 inspects and the flirt done. That's all.
There is a bug, though.
Very nice bug coming out from the back of this conversation, but it's not going to amount to anything, I don't think.
No, so very little's been happening, and from our perspective, there's very little to say or analyze. I want to point out, given how little we have to talk about, Veranda here is kind of a giant balcony.
Yeah.
And right now it feels like balcony, and that there's only so much you can say.
Green purloin coming off, really rushing it at the end. I think this might be an inspect swap, but at the front statues, we've only got 30 seconds left, and this is terrifying. There's the green purloin coming off. There's the swap coming off. It is a green test, but Steph is so on top of that guest list.
Yeah, and she actually got one of the better angles for the list, actually made the fade visible. So often on Veranda, no matter where you are, you just can't see it with confidence. In this case, she got a good look at it. The laser went off to the left. You could almost see her pondering and saying, well, I think it came from over there. Who was just over there? Here's someone at statues. I think they've been twice. Just really good deduction, nice and calm.
Very good stuff coming out from Steph there.
But look at this, though. Let's give Marimo a little credit. Actual mission win pending here with 19 seconds
Actual
left.
mission win pending, but he had to take a purloin and a swap and a bug.
Yeah. So I had to rush a lot, but you can do that sometimes. If things line up, you can still do it. So, throwing down the gauntlet a little bit there. Maybe he gets a little more credit for mission completion in the next game, showing that he can do it.
Either way, let's see how Steph plays it on the spy side with Marimo on the sniper. 3, 2, 1, playing it. Steph up by 1. Marimo sniping for the split, which is where you want to be, but Steph has a chance to strike here. Mind you, we haven't had a spy win yet, so the likelihood is not looking high. Quick flirt for 51%. Ambassador was in a very buggable position and gets bugged for it as Marimo starts swinging around. Timed that to perfection.
Yeah, really good. And your back's to that pillar and that window. It's just a great spot. Even though it doesn't seem like a great spot, it seems like your back is more to the sniper. It seems vulnerable, but it actually isn't in practice because of all those little UI elements sort of over there on the left.
It was incredibly exposed until the moment Marimo started rotating, and that's when the bug went off. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, there are 2 different pillars there and a window in between, so even though there are a lot of spots where it's very visible, if they're moving around even a little bit, there's so many little in-between blind spots that can catch it.
Steph picks up a fingerprint. Second half of the briefcase return was a little bit weird, and she does take a highlight for it, which is unfortunate for Steph, but I think going right to the statues after that is probably the best thing she could have done here, because Marimo is just going to lump that suspicion in with the briefcase suspicion.
I think that was another suboptimal path, although I don't think it was seen. I'm going to guess the highlight is more for fingerprint than briefcase, if I had to guess.
That was a very weird path. But we do get our seduction finished up. We've got 2 completions. We've got the fingerprint. We've got 2 inspects. Marimo, take some notes, man.
Yeah, this is some solid progress. The pathing has been kind of wonky, but you can get away with it on Veranda usually. Don't think that's why she's a suspect if she is.
Minute and 35 seconds left, so we still gotta move, but we've got tons of options.
Yeah, too many really at this point, with 2 missions partway done and 2 already done.
Bad news, I have a game crash.
Okay, we'll pause. That's fine.
I don't know what SpyParty did, but I didn't like running.
That's okay.
Fair
no
enough.
one does, really. I don't like running either.
We'll back it up to like 140.
Yep, I'm coming back.
All right.
Yeah, so let's recap real quick. Steph has the bug. We think it's pretty much totally invisible. Very good bug early on. Has seduce done, and on a map this size, that's obviously a great place to be. You don't want to be chasing that seduction target around. 1 fingerprint done for a briefcase, which was followed by a highlight. We're not sure for what, though. And 2 inspects done as well.
If we can get another fingerprint here, we can inspect, swap, and win on a silent game.
Yes. Yeah, that would be really interesting. I think that could be very effective. We talk every week about the possibility of these silent games and how even though a sniper will know intellectually that a spy can win without banana bread, particularly on a map like this where hardtails have a lot of cover, it's still really hard. Your muscle memory is to shoot afterwards, after thousands of games.
All right, I'm just about ready. What time are we starting again?
140.
I gotta jump to non-caster mode briefly, then jump back. 140. I'm just about there.
Everybody,
All right,
avert
I'm
your
good.
eyes from the timeline.
It's
Let's
okay.
get this
I'm
thing
a
underway.
I turned off the that scene.
Perfect. Let's get this thing back underway in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Now, I have a weird feeling that Pearls is going to leave here and Steph's going to be left all alone and then decide to leave a second.
Yeah, it's almost as if we've seen this before.
Yeah, deja vu.
Anyways, minute and 20 left to play. Let's see what Steph decides to do with this.
She says, look at the time, look at the time. That's about
I
it.
think she might be looking at the ambassador at the green books back there. Gonna see if we can find a print. No, gonna see if we can get the contact here. So no silent game. That's where the contact comes off. 50 seconds left to play.
That is a good banana
Low
bread.
lights. No,
Yeah.
not a single one of them were low lights.
So could have gotten Seek, and one of the twins did not low light either of them, at least not yet. And yeah, they come off. So it's just delayed from